Okay guys, in this video we're going to learn about object prototypes. And what they actually are the mechanisms by which JavaScript objects inherit features from one another. So all JavaScript objects inherit properties and methods from their prototypes. So let me just type in here the title. Let's start with function. So let's start with function, keyword, teacher. And let's give this a few arguments. So degree. Let's give it a first name. Then a last name. And let's also give it a age and a start work. Okay. So now let's call this dot first name. Actually, we should call the degree first. It doesn't matter. Now let's just call first name. Then this dot last name. Syntax error. Oh, because we need to use here this. Then we need to use semicolons. Then this dot age and this dot degree. And we also had that this start work, which was a new date, and this should take in the start work argument. Okay, now let's go down here and create our and instantiate our first teacher. So const, let's say Norbert, and this should be a new teacher, and this teacher will have a bachelor degree. So B dot C dot in engineering. It's just a bachelor degree in engineering. This should be actually a string. What am I doing? Okay, and his name is Norbert. His first name, his last name is Menhart. He's 35. And let's see, he started teaching sometimes in February the 5th and 2005. Okay, let's also call Laura. Laura is also a new teacher, and she has a master's degree, so MBA. Her name is Laura with a capital A. Her last name is also Menhart. She's 30 and she started working on the 3rd, and this should be a string. So 03, 10, and 2007. Okay, so let's start console logging these people. So let's console log. First of all, Norbert. Okay, so Norbert is the teacher. He started. Whoa. Something in right here. So we have an age. So this. Oh, damn it! Why didn't I assign them to anything? So first name is this dot first name. We got our last name, which is this dot last name. We got our age, and we got the degree. And there we go. So we have our Norbert, first name, last name Menhart, age 35, bachelor degree in construction, and he started working on the 5th of February. And we see console log Laura. Then we have Laura with first name Laura, last name Menhart, age 30, a MBA, and she started working on the 10th of March. Now this is pretty obvious and we learned about that, so let's see. So let's go into this teacher, and right down here we'll see proto object. Okay, so we will see that this has the first proto is the proto of the teacher. You see his construction is I said construction again. His constructor function is that of the teacher, and the second proto is that of the object. And this one has its own prototypes and methods. Okay, has own property, is prototype of, and so far so on. We'll take use of them a bit later on in the course, but what is important to notice that it has two protos. So one is the construction function, the constructor function is in it, and the second one where the second proto which belongs to the object. So now let's go back to our construction function, and as you can see, no matter how many people, no matter how many teachers we will create, so Norbert, Laura, and so far and so on, or instantiate, I said, they will have their own properties with first name, last name, age, degree, and also started working. But if we would now create that work experience method that we created in our last video, so let's go with this dot work. So work experience xp is equal to a function, and we'll set const work experience today, and we'll set this to the date dot now method minus this dot started working with get time method, and then we'll create another const with age date, and we'll assign it to a new date object which will take in the work experience. Okay, and from this we're just going to return now our string of work experience and plus math object and abstract method, and within here we'll type in age date plus dot get full year, actually for UTS here, UTC full year, and minus 1970s, and I also had here a year if I can remember, so the string of years. Okay, so if I would run the method here, so Laura dot get full year, no, Laura dot work experience, it will, and it's a method, it will give me 13 years. Okay, if I would call the method on Norbert, it give me 15 years. So what? So this above here will stay the same, but this one right here will change with each teacher. So now if we go back to this and just think about it, this function will stay the same for each teacher. And this means that we could put this function inside of the prototype and not in the object. So let's take this function and just copy it comment it out. And now let's say, how can we create a proto? So let's type in here comment create object prototype. Now the way we create a prototype is we take a construction function, the teacher, and we're typing in dot prototype and dot the name of the method that we want to create. So work experience, for example, work experience, and within here, actually I should just copy this in. So don't need this. Now we'll assign this again to exactly the same functionality. So if we take the console log and copy it, and let me leave it in, so just copy it, comment it out, and now put it down here, and we call our Norbert work experience again. You see we get the same results, although it is no longer in here. And now if I would console log only Norbert, so down here, and take a look in Norbert now, under the proto of the object, you can see we have now our method of work experience, and it is a method now of the prototype, so of the object. If I would call Laura down here, so I would replace this with Laura, we will get the work experience for Laura up here. Let me actually put this console log above this one and console log Laura. And also if you take a look in Laura, now we have on the proto the work experience method. Okay, so this is pretty simple, isn't it? And now the work experience is part of the teacher prototype, and we can use it each time we create a new teacher. So let's go ahead and create another method. Let's create a get full year prototype method. So new prototype, so prototype method, and we'll call this get full year. Sorry, get full name. So let's go to the teacher object again, grab onto the object, let's type in prototype, and now we'll name our method get full name, and we will assign it to an anonymous function, which will return a template string of this dot first name, and just copy this dot last name. Okay, so let's hit save. Now let's just going to take out the console log from up here from Laura. Let's go into Laura object. Let's take a look in our prototype, and now we also have the get full name method within here. So if I would type in now here Laura dot get full name and call upon this method, we'll get Laura Manhart. And the same thing for Norbert Manhart. So this method is now part of the object of our construction function. So we saw how we can add prototypes, so add methods to the teacher construction functions. Now let's see how can we manipulate data. Let's say we want to change their degrees. So we saw that Norbert had, let me console log them again. So let's have them both here. And just degree. Okay, so we've got a Norbert, and we have our Laura degree. Okay, so the first one is BCE, and the second one is MBA. Now, let's see how can we change this data. So we'll go into the teacher constructor function, and we'll say prototype, and then let's name this. Let's create a new prototype, and let's name it change degree. forgot an N there. Change. And let's assign it to anonymous function again. And this will await for an argument. So let's say new degree. And we'll assign it to this dot degree is equal to new degree. So when we're going to pass in a new degree into this method, then the first degree will be replaced with the new degree. So we have our two teachers up here with their degrees. So let's try and change them. So the way we do this is first of all call our teacher. So let's say Norbert. And let's actually, no, I'm going to leave it this way. Norbert, I'm going to call the method, so change degree. And this is awaiting for a, where do you have it? There we have it. It is awaiting for an argument. So let's pass in here. Let's say he learned a bit and now he has a master's degree in engineering. ENG. Okay, so I run the method. Now let's console log Norbert again and dot degree. So let's see what kind of a degree does Norbert have. Actually, let me also put in here Norbert dot get full name. Or should I put it after that? Yeah, I'm going to put it after that. So plus Norbert dot get full name. Also call upon the get full name method. And there we go. So, and an empty string. So it should be more beautiful. Plus this one. And we get, hey, Norbert now has a master in engineering, which I actually have. So, we changed the degree. Let's also change the degree for Laura. Let's say Laura dot change degree. And now we'll make her a doctor. So PhD. Woo! Dr. Laura. Okay, so let's call upon Laura. I'm just going to copy this console log up here. And instead of Norbert, we will now have Laura. So let's see. PhD Laura Meinhardt. Excellent. Okay, so we just made Laura a doctor. Let's see if we could now create a prototype which will not only get the degree, but also the title. So we're just playing around with this. We're just playing a bit around with this. And actually, let me show you console.log Laura. So no matter which one we do here, and we take a look in the prototype, we say change degree is also now part of the proto. So let me delete this and let's create for the teacher constructor function a new prototype, which we'll call get title. And we'll assign it a function. And when we want to get the title, this should return now the exactly this one. So let me copy this. This should return this dot degree and this dot get full name. And we have a syntax error because I have too many parentheses here. Okay, so now let me take out these two console logs. Let me comment them out. So Norbert and Laura are gone. And now I'm just going to console log Norbert with the method of get title. And this should get me exactly, method. So we're getting master engineering, Norbert Meinhardt. And if I change it to Laura now, then we have our PhD of Laura. Okay. So if I would now create, let's say, another teacher of Arabella, and let's give her, so new teacher, So let's give her a well, let's start with the name, then the last name, and let's take a look up here. Now we need to start with the degree. So she is a apprentice with the name of Arabella and the last name of Meinhardt, and she is 18 and she is working since some date, it doesn't matter, 10/03 and 2019, let's say. Okay, so if I would now call on Arabella and we take a look in Arabella, you can see in the proto should have all of the methods. Okay, so that also means that I could call dot full name Arabella Meinhardt, then I could call get title apprentice, I could call work experience, she has 0 years, and so far and so on. So I could call all of the methods which was inherited by the teacher constructor functions. Okay guys, so this is pretty much it for now. Next up we will go into prototype inheritance. So see you in the next one. Bye bye.